Hi, and welcome to Schmooze with Suze. I'm Suze Montgomery, your host, and thanks for joining us tonight. I've got a good friend here that I've been really dying to interview as well, and she does something that is so necessary, so needed, and it's going to only increase with time and population. I'd like to introduce Tammy Glen from Caregivers. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. I've been dying to come on your show too.
Oh, good. I've been dying to have you on this show. We have the mutual interest of our seniors.
Yes, we do.
And you've been, let's see, well, first of all, how'd you get to Ventura?
Well, I met my husband, and he lived out here in Silver Strand, and so I relocated.
Where were you living?
San Fernando Valley.
Okay, so you got tired of the schlep?
I was schlepping to Cal State University Northridge for several years, where I was a major gift officer, and yeah, and then we got married. We got married, and this position opened up at Caregivers. It was just so. It was meant to be.
I'm so glad you're at Caregivers. I mean, Caregivers has been around. Well, how long has it been? It's a national.
Since 1984. We were one of the original pilot programs in volunteer caregiving, founded in 1984. There were 25 of us in the nation. We were the first in California. And today, I think about 16 of the original 25 survived, but this model that we started here in Ventura County has been replicated across the country 500-600 times.
You're kidding.
Yeah, this is a national movement now.
I refer people to you all the time.
Yes,
I mean, seniors are what I do, and you do also because, well, frankly, we could do other things, but we love them. I mean, how could you not love these guys?
I love what I do. This is my personal life coming together with my professional life. It just converged in all the right places.
No mistakes, no coincidence, no accidents.
Yeah, you know, I took care of my mother for 17 years.
And I had my mom.
Yeah. She had an accident when I was 8, and for the next 17 years her body slowly deteriorated, and she died when I was 25. So I was very familiar with the disability community and caregiving, informal caregiving. Coming into Caregivers, volunteers assisting the elderly, I've had some things to learn about seniors, and boy, have I had an education. This is a compartmentalized population. It's vulnerable, but it's often ignored.
Oh, they're invisible.
So I have to say, Ventura County is really amazing in so many ways when it comes to serving the senior population. People really do step
but
up.
We can still do more, can't we?
There's so much more that needs to be done. There's so much more that needs to be done.
In the and I work in education. And the senior education I see is wholly deficient as far, well, again, see, I'm 66, so I'm a senior. So I'm looking at seniors as being invisible, ignored, and we kind of shunt them to the side because maybe they're not contributing to the gross national product. Maybe they're not in the workforce anymore. So once you leave the workforce, you kind of don't get the same attention. I mean, it's kind of an interesting scenario when I look at the way my seniors are in my classes. My average age senior in my class is about 88 to 90. And I mean, and they're bright. I've got very bright people. Of course, I've got a population of Alzheimer's and dementia too, but they can still learn. And because the others that are brighter actually bring them up.
Right.
So as far as caregiving, and what you do is, it's really tricky. I mean, we're now seeing like home health agencies bringing up?
Yeah, it's tough, because you're dealing with an older person who's slowing down.
Correct.
Mobility becomes an issue. A lot of the seniors that we work with, and we worked with 840 last year, we're chartered for Ventura County, and a lot of those, we're working one-on-one with. But a lot of them are, they're homebound. They have a multitude of different needs, and it's perhaps not as fun to work with seniors as it is to work with children or pets.
Oh, I think they're a lot
like
more
that.
fun.
I love working with seniors. I get a kick out of it every day. It's always a good story at the end of the day.
Well, it is. You go home feeling like you really did something worthwhile.
But it's something we need to communicate to people because I look at our Building Bridges After School program.
Oh, what's that?
Oh, you don't know about that? We're working with 8 high schools right now in the cities that we serve here in Ventura. We have probably 40 to 50 kids that we take out after school, and they do laundry, they do yard work, household chores. Sometimes they just go and visit.
This is voluntary?
Yeah, they're all volunteering, and we have a coordinator, so they're always supervised. And we take them out, and the kids seek us out now. We don't even have to really go pitch this program. They call our office saying, we want to be involved in this program. And now we've got 450 alumni that have gone through this program over the last 12, 13 years.
How come I don't know about this?
Well, you do now.
Wow, I'm impressed.
And now these kids are coming back. They go off to college, and they come back to settle in their hometown, and they want to come back and volunteer as adults, which is really cool.
How big is your volunteer base?
We had 377 volunteers on the books last year.
How do you manage this?
Very efficiently, very effectively. I have to, give my MBA some credit there from Pepperdine University because I learned a lot of good things that we employ, and I have a great team. And my team is not just my office team, but I have a good board, and we have great volunteers. You want to meet good people, come to Caregivers, because the people that surround our organization are just packed with incredible qualities. We have 4 1/4 staff, the equivalent of 4 1/4 staff in our office.
And that's all you have for staff with that many people?
We layer a lot of work. Keep in mind, Suze, a lot of our volunteers are one-on-one with seniors in the field. And the hallmark of our program is that we match a volunteer with a senior.
Okay.
And so once they're paired and it's working out, they have a friendship that lasts, my goodness, we have friendships that have been together 20 years.
That's amazing.
So, and once that's going, as long as they don't need anything and everything's going well, they're fine. It's if the senior takes a turn, or they need some kind of extra special support, or they want the kids to come out and do a yard project, something like that, then we'll step in and help. We have other quality control programs in place. So we have a whole Phone Friends program that we've developed over the last few years. Well, we thought it was going to be our general volunteers calling and checking up on our seniors. We do have a staff member who calls, every quarter. I think he goes through our whole database. But now he has Phone Friend volunteers, and it turns out they're seniors in our program who are volunteering, and they're calling other seniors. So, and we match them, just like we match a volunteer and a senior. We match a phone friend with a senior. They're 2 seniors. They have a lot in common, and it works out great. And they just wind up talking, whether they talk once a week or once a month or twice a day.
It's support.
It's support. This is basic stuff. And when we look back at what the Sisters of St. Joseph of Carondelet, who developed this program for the community.
Oh my God, they taught me in school.
Oh, did they? Well, Sister Patricia Callahan is the woman who wrote the grant proposal. And she is still a very good counsel to the organization and to me. And the concept was a neighborly deed. And a neighborly deed isn't, it's not toileting or bathing. It's something you would do for a good neighbor. So it may be, do you need a ride to the grocery store, Suze? You want me to go with you? You need help prepping a meal tonight? Let's play a game of cards, Suze.
Really?
It's that simple, and it's that type of support and friendly, love that makes a big difference in a person's ability to just keep their keep their optimism and stay living independently. And that's our goal, is to keep someone living
So you're
independently.
at 501c3, a nonprofit.
Yes, and we survive solely on the good support of our community.
That's amazing. Well, last year when you initiated one, you had this, because John and I went to a couple of these. It was the
think you've
passports.
been to almost every one.
Yeah, well, I try to support you guys because you're my people.
Thank you.
But the passports, who came up with passports? And explain to us what the program is,
So
because I loved it.
our 30th anniversary, 1984 to 2014, marked 30 years, and I didn't want to just do a big blowout, awards luncheon thing.
Yeah, those get really old.
Well, this is an issue with seniors that I felt we needed to have a conversation. Mm-hmm. And if we just have one conversation, we really haven't done the job. And so, my husband happens to be an artist, so I've been entrenched in the art community for a long time. And I remembered that they did a program in Los Angeles County called Pacific Standard Time. And it was a series of art events that were held at universities, galleries, museums, all around this theme. And I actually went to Todd Collard at the Ventura, the Ventura County Arts Council. And I said, Todd, have we ever done like a countywide art project around a theme? And he said, no, we've never done that. I said, I want to do this for seniors. I said, I want to do it for caregivers, but more importantly, we need to talk about seniors. If we're talking about seniors, the caregiving thing, that'll all come out. And so Caregivers sponsored for its 30th anniversary a series of art exhibits around all the communities we serve. One almost every single month.
I know you guys are doing a lot.
We've done a lot for 4 1/4 people. I have an incredible team in the office, and that's what we did. So the artists, thank you, artists of Ventura County, because they rallied around this issue, and we did the ties that bind at the Foster Library. We did The Old Man and the Sea at the Maritime Museum, which was fantastic. And Julia Chambers, who is a very good friend, she's wonderful, just so good leading that museum, did an outdoor showing of the film, of the Spencer Tracy film, The Old Man and the Sea. Now, what a great way to have a conversation about aging. So that's what we did throughout the year. Buenaventura Art Association just really stepped up. We did one at Community Memorial Hospital, and all on different themes, all to create a conversation. And so we've been talking about seniors all year long, and the underlying part of that was, here was Caregivers volunteers assisting the elderly as the sponsor, and I'm proud. We did a good job.
You should be proud. It was so well done.
We did a good job with it.
It was really, really well done.
Now we've got to keep the conversation going. So
how are you going to do that?
Thank you. I talk to everybody who has an ear to listen, and we just keep it moving.
Send me a representative to the Ventura Council on Aging.
You have a few. I'll tell you, the former mayor of Ventura,
Jack Tingstrom is on my.
He's one of ours.
That's right.
Dorothy Schupbach is one of ours.
Yeah, I haven't seen her recently.
She'll be back. She's getting over some health challenges, and Rita Bay and Rita Singer.
Rita Bay is one of my close buddies in crime.
She's a firecracker
oh boy,
too.
She's a fireball.
And Rita Singer.
Okay.
If you haven't met Rita Singer,
I have not.
So those 4 people are on the Council on Aging, and then my goal right now, I think the biggest issue I see that we face is it's access to health care, it's transportation.
It is.
And so I'm really hoping to carve out some time and dedicate to that in our community, and do it at a county level. We serve the county, so that's where I want to be.
That was my #1 issue when I took over the Council on Aging, and interestingly enough, I networked it enough to be able to find somebody that is going to be giving the city of Ventura, we're going to get public transportation for seniors and disabled.
Oh.
And this is going to start probably...
Is this the reimbursement program?
Yes, it is.
Oh, I'm just learning about that. So
okay.
Very, very nice. And I have to say, you all did something. I spoke with Nicole, who is helping to implement that program.
And she's a sweetie.
And so it's a reimbursement per mile program. And she said, we were going to call it a volunteer driver program, but then we realized we were reimbursing the folks that are driving, so it's not purely volunteerism.
No.
And I said, you know what, I really applaud you for that,
Yeah.
because we have last year 377 volunteers who did not take any compensation whatsoever other than thank you so much. And they give 2 to 4 hours every week to our senior community. And
That's amazing.
And that to me is,
How do you find these people?
you know, they find us. I wish I could go out and tell you, oh, they're all hanging out in this one spot, but they come from a really diverse backgrounds and all ages. We have, I think at one point, I don't know if we do now, we had a 93-year-old serving a 62-year-old. So it doesn't, age doesn't, we have 17-year-olds from the high schools. Age doesn't, age is different for everybody.
I think it resonates on some level. I've been teaching seniors for about 11 years, and when I first started doing this, I was horrified how many, and I'm in a SNF, I teach in a skilled nursing facility, and I was always horrified by how many family members did not show up to visit their family member that was in this nursing facility. They were so uncomfortable they'd only come at mealtime. And I thought to myself, I grew up in a family where the grandparents lived with us. I mean, we always had older people around us, so it was part of our culture. As Italians, that's what you do. You just have, there are tons of people around. So when I saw this happening, I thought there's got to be a way to incorporate them, or getting the family, the outside family, more involved and more participatory in my students' lives. So I have tried everything I can, and it's starting to work, but I came down to the fundamental thing. I thought, why don't these people participate? And and all of a sudden it occurred to me, oh, that's because my students are elderly, and they're old. My average student is about 88 to 90, and all of a sudden I'm going, well, if I was a 5-year-old kid, I'd probably be a little bit frightened of somebody that was that much older, because they represent death. Now that's a tough one, right? Because I remember being lifted up, looking in the casket of my great-grandmother when she was dead.
Wow.
And to me, it scared the crap out of me as a child, but I remember that fear because it was like, you personalize it. Oh, I'm next, right?
But look at what's happened to our culture too.
It's changing.
Our culture's changed so much.
Thank God.
And I look at the population that we serve here in Ventura County, and it tends to be primarily female. It tends to be primarily Caucasian. And I actually had the students at Cal State Channel Islands come over and do a study. I'm like,
That's interesting.
Do we need to be doing something different, in terms of our outreach? Because, I don't look at, but I have a lot of diversity in my background, and that's important to me that we reach out to everybody. And it really boils down, it's a cultural thing. And part of the cultural dynamic that's happening is, families are disconnected. They're living.
Yes, they are.
You have a close Italian family. My family is close, but we're living across the country. Oregon,
that's
Washington,
just the way we live today,
Florida.
though.
That's how people live. And so a lot of our seniors have family members that just don't live in the area,
or they're
right
fractured,
now. Or they're fractured, or there are family dynamics at work,
which are always at work there too.
And
so how do you get them together?
You tend, and you tend to see that more. I'm understanding in certain cultures than you do in others.
True.
But even locally, our Hispanic culture, more kids are going to college. Jobs are taking them across the country. Those families are getting tugged apart. And so, that's where Caregivers does come in, whether the family dynamics are poor or they're close, or whatever the situation is.
So how would it be if I needed caregivers? I mean, say for example, I'm now going through some health issues. Say that my husband would need some additional help with me, I can be real challenging, as we all know. And so he would, what would a typical call your office?
So give us a call, and depending upon your needs.
Okay.
The seniors that we serve are 60 and over. Okay. So you would qualify in that regard. But actually, you're pretty mobile and going right now.
Just say that I wasn't.
Yeah. We would screen a person depending upon their network of support. We look for people that are living primarily alone, that don't have a network of support around them. We try to focus on them. We don't turn anybody away. And we work with about 140 other organizations in the county to serve our seniors. So
So,
we look at it like a puzzle piece because everybody's needs are a little bit different, you know. We've had seniors call us that, you know, have housing issues or a lot of transportation issues, or they need a ride to the Veterans Hospital in LA. Everybody's got such different things going on. So if you're a senior, give us a call. We'll walk you through our program. If we can't help you directly, we're going to find someone who can. And you don't even have to live in Ventura County. We get calls outside of the area, and we will go out of our way to make sure that we direct you somewhere.
is there like a sliding fee scale?
Absolutely not. Everything we offer is free.
You guys are totally free?
We are totally free.
Holy
And
mackerel.
that is a
That's
model.
rare. That's rare.
Yeah, I intend to keep it that way. And it's really thank you to good donors and the corporate community, the private foundations that all step
No, it's
up.
thanks to you, because before I knew you, I heard of Caregivers way back when, and then just fell off the radar, even when I was working with seniors. I think by you getting out into the community as much as you do, and you're everywhere, I think you bring a face to what caregivers are. And I think corporate should be thanking you every single day that you're on the job, because you go over and above what a job is. I mean, you're not just doing a job. Again, it's a passion.
This is my heart.
It's your life, and you bring it home. And I mean, you live it 24 hours a day. I know you do. And this is rare. You don't find people, and what your title is, like executive director, ED. So you don't see EDs that are this committed to organizations. You really don't. They go, okay, I got to be at work at 9, and they go, minutes ticking off till 5 o'clock, and they're gone. You don't do that. You're unusual in that respect, where you are there when you need to be, or because you're always there. But you do such a great job.
We absolutely love it. Everyone who's involved with our organization really loves what we do. And we have a lot of fun doing this, so
well,
I mean,
should.
that's the best part. You know, and people who want to volunteer, we do coffees once a month. We have a lot of fun with our volunteers too. We try and do quarterly trainings.
How big's your board?
Oh, it's tiny. There's about 9 people on our board right now.
You don't want it bigger?
No, you know what? I don't know that we need it a lot bigger. We also have an honorary board.
Oh, that's good.
An honorary group of directors, and we've got some great people on there that are out, you know, doing a lot of good fundraising and being champions for us in the community.
Do you have to write grants? Do you write grants?
Oh, we do, yeah. We write private foundation grants. We invite all kinds of folks to give money. Would you like to contribute?
Probably will. I'll probably be a beneficiary as well. No, because I believe in what you do.
No, I mean, really, it's you know, we try and open our arms to. There's something for everybody to do at Caregivers. This is an intergenerational experience. People may not realize that, but you know, we're all heading in that direction, right?
But a lot of people don't want to acknowledge the fact that they are.
You know,
and I think that's a problem with most youth. They don't want to think about the inevitable. They don't want to think about, you know, growing older or being, you know, that you would have needs, you know, that type of thing. They don't want to be dependent.
Do they? You know, what age is that? Because I see that more in, you know, people maybe in their 40s and 50s.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
But I have to tell you, our high school kids love hanging out with seniors.
Well,
they really
you've got
get a
some
kick
special
out
kids.
of it. But there's 450 of them that have come through the program and are still seeking us out.
Well, I see more participation in my arena by the kids than actually 40s and 50s.
People, you know, the kids,
They're busy,
the
I
kids
guess.
are not, well, I mean, look, most people that are in their, 30s, 40s, we're busy doing our
You're working.
careers, we're working. Some of us are raising, you know, families and have small children. But a lot of these kids that are in our high school program, they don't have grandparents living nearby.
So adopted grandparents.
So it's almost like adopted grandparents. So it's a great experience for them to have.
So do you go through a screening process to make sure that, like for kids or anything, or it's just?
Well, the kids, you know, they're always supervised. So,
Okay.
you know, our regular volunteers that are adult volunteers with the program are all we do a background check on everybody. We're always in touch with them. We're a little bit, you know, nosy and keeping an eye.
Well, you should be, because
hey, you're part.
that's
You
a life.
know what? You came to us to be part of the Caregivers family. And that's how I feel, like you're part of our family now. We have a really big family at Caregivers, so we keep an eye on each other. And I figure that's what a senior called and asked us to do is, hey, I need a little extra help. Would you keep an eye on me? Sure.
So now as you see, I call it the senior tsunami, and the senior tsunami is the burgeoning growth of seniors population nationally. I mean, if you look at the stats, just seniors alone in Ventura County, we're going to be growing by 28% in the next 10 years, which are huge numbers.
Yep.
And so your organization will probably grow exponentially to to grow with the numbers here.
I hope so. I hope the community, supports us in that way, that we can continue to respond to the growing needs. And then, nationally, Caregivers is heavily involved at the national level with the National Volunteer Caregiving Network to make sure that organizations like ours that are following in the footsteps of those original pilot programs have the resources and the tools and the vision.
Correct.
To meet the needs that are before us.
What a huge opportunity, though, for other small nonprofits to partner with caregivers, and caregivers conversely partnering with other community organizations. I can see where, with working with our transportation issues, the grant will run out in 2 years. So I see community partnerships coming in to actually support this. The burden wouldn't fall on you, the burden wouldn't fall on the city of Ventura.
It's taking the whole community together, and that's why we have 139 partners, I think, that I looked at before I came here.
I don't know how you do this job, frankly. And frankly, we just ran out of time. But boy, I admire you.
Well,
you're
thanks.
a hero to me for what you do and who you are.
And you are one to me as well, Suze.
Well, we're tight. We're going to stay together. You and I, we've got mutual interests, but we also love each other, so that's cool too. And thanks for being here.
Thanks.
And thank you all for joining us again today, and we'll see you next week. Thanks again.